Is it? Boom. Done. Is good now? Please say is good now. I think it might be good now, but I need to wait so that I can see whether or not tis good now. Hmm. It should be though. Yes, tis good now. It works. Wonderful. That's great. Pog. Yeah. Wow. It works now. Zooey. Everybody's gone, but it works. Yeah. Okay. Exodus, chapter 1. Israel oppressed in Egypt. These are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt with Jacob. Each came with his family: Reuben, Simon, Levi, and Judah; Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin; Dan and Naphtali; Gad and Asher. The total number of Jacob's descendants was 70. Joseph was buried in Egypt. Joseph and all his brothers and all that generation eventually died. But the Israelites were fruitful, increased rapidly, multiplied, and became extremely numerous, so that the land was filled with them. A new king, who did not know about Joseph, came to power in Egypt. He said to his people, "Look, the Israelite people are more numerous and powerful than we are. Come, let's steal, otherwise they will multiply further, and when war breaks out, they will join our enemies, fight against us, and leave the country." So the Egyptians assigned taskmasters over the Israelites to oppress them with forced labor. They built Pithom and Ramesses as supply cities for the Pharaoh. But the more they oppressed them, the more they multiplied and spread, so that the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites. They worked the Israelites ruthlessly and made their lives bitter with difficult labor in brick and mortar and in all kinds of field work. They ruthlessly imposed all this work on them. Well, if it's, yeah, I'm just talking quiet. Turn up your volume.
So the Egyptians assigned
That's the pro gamer move in this situation. The king of Egypt said to his Hebrew midwives, the first, whose name was Shiphrah, and the second, whose name was Puah, "When you help the Hebrew women give birth, observe them as they deliver. If the child is a son, kill him, but if it's a daughter, she may live." The midwives, however, feared God, and did not do as the king of Egypt had told them. They let the boys live. So the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and asked them, "Why have you done this, and let the boys live? How very dare you? Why didn't you murder the children?" That's what if I say murder the children, you murder the children. Do not question me. Yeah. Midwives said to Pharaoh, "The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are vigorous and give birth before the midwife can get to them." So God was good to the midwives, and the people multiplied and became very numerous. Since the midwives feared God, he gave them families. Pharaoh then commanded all his people, You must throw every son born to the Hebrews into the Nile, but let every daughter live." Moses' birth and adoption. Now a man from the family of Levi married a Levite woman. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was beautiful, she hid him for 3 months. When she could no longer hide him, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with asphalt and pitch. She placed the child in it and set it amongst the reeds by the bank of the Nile. Then his sister stood at a distance in order to see what would happen to him. Pharaoh's daughters went down to bathe at the Nile, while her servant girls walked along the river bank. She saw the basket amongst the reeds, sent her slave girl, took it, opened it, and saw him, the child, and there he was, a little boy, crying. She felt sorry for him, and said, "This is one of the Hebrew boys." Then his sister said to the Pharaoh's daughter, "Should I go and call the Hebrew woman who is nursing, to nurse the boy for you?" "Go," Pharaoh's daughter told her. So the girl went and called the boy's mother. Then Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse him for me, and I will pay your wages." So the woman took the boy and nursed him. When the child grew older, she brought him to the Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, because, she said, "I drew him out of the water." I wonder, does Moses mean something in some language? Moses in Midian. Years later, after Moses had grown up, he went out to his own people, and observed their forced labor. He saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew, one of his people. Looking all around and seeing no one, he struck the Egyptian dead and hid him in the sand. Jesus Christ, that's brutal. The next day he went out and saw two Hebrews fighting. He asked the one in the wrong, "Why are you attacking your neighbor?" "Who made you a commander and judge over us?" the man replied. "Are you planning to kill me, as you killed the Egyptian?" I don't know, is he? Maybe Moses is going to get a 32 kill streak. Then Moses became afraid and thought, "What I did is certainly known." When Pharaoh heard about this, he tried to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in the land of Midian, and sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters. They came to draw water, and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. Then some shepherds arrived and drove them away, but Moses came to their rescue and watered their flock. When they returned to their father Reuel, he asked, "Why have you come back so quickly today?" They answered, "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." "So where is he?" he asked his daughters. Why did you leave the man behind? Invite him to eat dinner." Moses agreed to stay with the man, and he gave his son Zipporah to Moses in marriage. She gave birth to a son, whom he named Gershom, for he said, "I have been a resident alien in a foreign land." After a long time, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned because of their difficult labor. They cried out, and their cry for help because of the difficult labor ascended to God. God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. God saw the Israelites, and God knew. Alright, the name Moses sounds like drawing out in Hebrew and born in Egyptian. Yeah, fair enough. Chapter 3, Moses and the Burning Bush. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Moses was shepherding the flock of his father and his father-in-law, Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. Then the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire within a bush. As Moses looked, he saw that the bush was on fire, but was not consumed. So Moses thought, "I must go over and look at this remarkable sight. Why isn't the bush burning up?" When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called out to him from the bush, "Moses, Moses." "Here I am," he replied. "Do not come closer," he said. "Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Then he continued, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." Moses hid his face, because he was afraid to look at God. Then the Lord said, "I have observed the misery of my people in Egypt, and I have heard them crying out because of their oppressors. I know their suffering, and I have come down to rescue them from the power of the Egyptians, and to bring them from that land to a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the territory of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. So because of the Israelites' cry for help has come to me, and I have also seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. Therefore, go, I am sending you to Pharaoh, so that you may lead my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. He answered, I will certainly be with you, and this will be the sign to you that I am the one who sent you. When you bring the people out of Egypt, you all will worship God at this mountain. Alright, that's God talking. Or, I don't know. Then Moses asked God, If I go to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your ancestors has sent me, and they ask me, What's his name? What should I tell them? God replies to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am who has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Say this to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your ancestors. Oh, it's still okay. It's not a lot. It's not dead quite yet. Nice. I thought that would end the stream. Um, Go and assemble the elders of Israel, and say to them, The Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me and said, I have paid close attention to you and what has been done to you in Egypt, and I have promised you that I will bring you up from the misery of Egypt to the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. They will listen to what you say. Then you, along with the elders of Israel, must go to the king of Egypt and say to him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Now please let us go on a 3-day trip into the wilderness, so that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. However, I know that the king of Egypt will not allow you to go, even under force from a strong hand. But when I stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all my miracles that I will perform in it, after that he will let you go. And I will give these people such favour with the Egyptians that when you go, you will not go empty-handed. Each woman will ask her neighbour and any woman staying in her house for silver and gold jewellery and clothing, and you will put them on your sons and daughters. So you will plunder the Egyptians. Wonderful. Chapter 4 Miraculous Signs for Moses. Moses answered, What if they don't believe me, and will not obey me, but say, The Lord did not appear to you? The Lord asked him, What is in your hand? A staff, he replied. Throw it on the ground, he said. So Moses threw it on the ground. It became a snake, and he ran from it. The Lord told Moses, Stretch out your hand and grab it by the tail. So he stretched out his hand and caught it, and it became a staff in his hands. This will take place, he continued, so that they will believe that the Lord, the God of their ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you. In addition, the Lord said to him, Put your hand inside your cloak. So he put his hand inside his cloak, and when he took it out, his hand was diseased, resembling snow. Put your hand back inside your cloak, he said. So he put his hand back inside his cloak, and when he took it out, it had become again like the rest of his skin. Hello, hi, welcome. Hi, subscribe. Um, Moses is talking to himself or a burning bush. Maybe he's got schizophrenia or something. I don't know. His hand's diseased at the moment. If they will not believe you and will not respond to the evidence of the first sign, they may believe the evidence of the second sign. And if they don't believe even these two signs or listen to what you say, Take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground. The water you take from the Nile will become blood on the ground. But Moses replied to the Lord, Please, Lord, I have never been eloquent, either in the past or recently, or since you have been speaking to your servant, because my mouth and my tongue are sluggish. Yes, I agree. Probably. That or mad. Yeah, either mad, bad, or son of God. The Lord said to him, Who placed a mouth on humans? Who makes a person mute or deaf, seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak, and I will teach you what to say. Um, I'm pretty sure I can find that, like, pretty easily. Actually, yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna find that. Let me search. Where's the search thing? Where's the search thing? Yep, I am. I'm doing it. Um, Trial of Jesus. Hmm. Or like Jesus is put on trial. Probably, yeah. I have definitely seen this before. I must find this. Uh, well, okay, so on trial, I'm pretty sure they're like, it's like a 5 minute trial, and they're like, Are you the son of God? I am, and then they murder him. So, like, that's kind of, yeah, but Jesus was, so tell us whether or not you're the son of God. Jesus was silent. So he just didn't say anything. Interesting. So when pressured, he just said nothing. That's very interesting, actually. Cool. Okay, back to Bible. Where were we? Uh, English. I'm not like religious at all, like not even remotely. I'm just doing this for gits and shiggles. Right, okay. Exodus chapter 4. Um, to be honest, I think my thing of Jesus is I think like Mary was actually just cheating on Joseph, but back in the day that was a crime that they would stone you to death for. So she created this whole Son of God thing, and then either genuinely believes it or is just playing along and was a doctor and a healer. Right, okay. Um, Moses said, "Please, Lord, send someone else." Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, "Isn't Aaron the Levite your brother? I know that he can speak well, and also he is on his way now to meet you. He will rejoice when he sees you. You will speak with him and tell him what to say. I will help both of you and him to speak. He will teach you both to do. He will speak to the people for you. He will serve as mouth for you, and you will serve as God to him. And take this staff in your hand that you will perform the signs with." Yeah, I've read them all. Like, oh, well, like the comments on my videos. I haven't seen many. Hang on, let me look at your YouTube profile. Never mind, I can't do that. I'm gonna add Tommy as a moderator. There, he's a moderator now. Do you mean the comments in this stream or on just videos? It is like extremely implied that he's the son of God, but again, we don't really know, and we don't have any historical evidence other than some books. Moses' return to Egypt. Then Moses went back to his father-in-law, Jethro, and said to him, "Please let me return to my relatives in Egypt and see if they are still living." Jethro said to Moses, "Go in peace." Now in Midian the Lord told Moses, "Return to Egypt, for all the men who wanted to kill you are dead." So Moses took his wife and sons, put them on a donkey, and returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took God's staff in his hand. The Lord instructed Moses, "When you go back to Egypt, make sure you do before the Pharaoh all the wonders that I have put within your power. But I will harden his heart, so that he won't let the people go. And you will say to Pharaoh, 'This is what the Lord says, Israel is my firstborn son. I told you, let my son go back, so that he may worship. Let my son go, so that he may worship me. But you refuse to let him go. Look, I am about to kill your firstborn son.'" Yeah, I'm going to have to get a charger at some point soon. We're on 20%. On the trip, at an overnight campsite, it happened that the Lord confronted him and intended to put him to death. So Zipporah took a flint, cut off her son's foreskin, threw it at Moses' feet, and said, "Jesus Christ, you're a bridegroom of blood to me." So he let him alone. At that time she said, "You are the bridegroom of blood," referring to the circumcision. For some reason in the Old Testament, God has like he's really obsessed with newborn children being circumcised. I don't know why. Just like whatever floats your goat. Reunion of Moses and Aaron. Who the hell is Aaron? Now the Lord had said to Aaron, Go and meet Moses in the wilderness. So he went and met him at the mountain of God and kissed him. Moses told Aaron everything the Lord had sent him to say, and about all the signs he had commanded him to do. Then Moses and Aaron went and assembled all the elders of the Israelites. Aaron repeated everything the Lord had said to Moses, and performed the signs before the people. The people believed, and when they heard that the Lord had paid attention to them, and that he had seen their misery, they knelt low and worshipped. Moses confronts Pharaoh. Later, Moses and Aaron went in and said to Pharaoh, This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Let my people go, so that they may hold a festival for me in the wilderness. But Pharaoh responded, Who is the Lord, that I should obey by letting Israel go? I don't know the Lord, and besides, I will not let Israel go. They answered, The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go on a 3-day trip into the wilderness, so that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God, or else he may strike us with a plague or sword. The king of Egypt said to them, Moses and Aaron, why are you causing the people to neglect their work? Get to your labor. Pharaoh also said, Look, the people of the land are so numerous, and you would stop them from their labor. Yeah, you don't want to stop them from their labor for 3 days. That'll collapse the economy of that has a GDP of about $50 in Egypt, in like a kilometer by kilometer area. Further oppression of Israel. That day Pharaoh commanded the overseers of the people, as well as their foremen, Don't continue to supply the people with straw for making bricks, as before. They must go and gather straw for themselves, but require the same quota of bricks from them as they were making before. Do not reduce it, for they are slackers. That is why they are crying out, Let us go and sacrifice to our God. Impose heavier work on the men, then they will be occupied with it, and not pay attention to deceptive words. So the overseers and foremen of the people went out and said to them, This is what Pharaoh says, I am not giving you straw. Go get straw for yourselves wherever you can find it, but there will be no reduction at all in your workload. So the people scattered throughout the land of Egypt to gather stubble for straw. The overseers insisted, Finish your assigned work each day, just as you did when straw was provided. Then the Israelite foremen, whom Pharaoh's slave drivers had set over the people, were beaten, and asked, Why haven't you finished making your prescribed number of bricks yesterday or today, as you did before? So the Israelite foreman went in and cried for help to the Pharaoh. Why are you treating your servants this way? No straw has been given to your servants, yet they say to us, Make bricks. Look, your servants are being beaten. But this is your own people who are at fault. But he said, You are slackers, slackers! That is why you are saying, Let us go sacrifice to the Lord. When I get to work, no straw will be given to you, and you must produce the same quantity of bricks. The Israelite foremen saw that they were in trouble when they were told, You cannot reduce your daily quota of bricks. When they left Pharaoh, they confronted Moses and Aaron, who stood waiting to meet them. May the Lord take note of you, and judge, they said to them, because you have made us weak to Pharaoh and his officials, putting a sword in their hands to kill us. So Moses went back to the Lord and asked, Lord, why have you caused trouble for this people? Why did you ever send me? Ever since I went in to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has caused trouble for this people, and you haven't rescued your people at all. Okay, can I... Oh, I can... Oh, this is so much better. Hell yeah. I imagine if I had known about this before. Let me just do a little zoom. Okay, cool. Chapter 6. But the Lord replied to Moses, Now I will see what I will do to Pharaoh. Because of a strong hand he will let them go, and because of a strong hand he will drive them from his land. God promises freedom. Then God spoke to Moses, telling him, I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as God Almighty, but I was not known to them by my name, the Lord. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land they lived in as aliens. Furthermore, I have heard the groanings of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians are forcing to work as slaves, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore tell the Israelites, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from the forced labor of the Egyptians, and rescue you from slavery to them. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and great acts of judgment. I will take you as many people, and I will be your God. You will know that I am the Lord, your God, who brought you out from the forced labor of the Egyptians. I will bring you to the land that I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I will give it to you as a possession. Yeah, about that, you never gave it to them. You were like, okay. You said to Abraham, yes, I will make your offspring as numerous as the stars, and I will give you all this land. And you never did. Then he died. Then you said the same thing to Isaac. You never did. And he died. Then you said the same thing to Jacob. You never did. Then he died. What? Made some real false promises here. At least he's finally giving it to someone. Moses told this to the Israelites, but they did not listen to him because of their broken spirits and hard labor. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, Go and tell Pharaoh king of Egypt to let the Israelites go from his land. But Moses said in the Lord's presence, If the Israelites will not listen to me, then how will the Pharaoh listen to me, since I am such a poor speaker? Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, and gave them commands concerning both the Israelites and Pharaoh king of Egypt, to bring the Israelites out of the land of Egypt. Did you I don't want to read this, but this is just boring, very boring. Just, yes, and then so-and-so begot so-and-so, and he lived for 133 years. Just, no one wants to read that. Next. The Lord answered Moses, chapter 7. The Lord answered Moses, See, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and Aaron, your brother, will be your prophet. You must say whatever I command you. Then Aaron, your brother, must declare to the Pharaoh, so that he will let the Israelites go from his land. But I will harden Pharaoh's house. I will harden his house. No, I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. Pharaoh will not listen to you, but I will put my hand into Egypt and bring the military divisions of my people, the Israelites, out of the land of Egypt by great acts of judgment. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring out the Israelites from among them. So Moses and Aaron did this. They did just as the Lord commanded them. Moses was 88 years old and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, When Pharaoh tells you, perform a miracle, tell Aaron, Take your staff and throw it to the ground before Pharaoh. It will become a serpent. So Moses and Aaron went in to Pharaoh and did just as the Lord had commanded. Aaron threw down his staff before Pharaoh and his officials, and it became a serpent. But then Pharaoh called the wise men and sorcerers, the magicians of Egypt, and they also did the same thing by their occult practices. Each one threw down his staff, and it became a serpent. But Aaron's staff swallowed their staffs. However, Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he did not listen to them, as the Lord had said. The first plague, water turned to blood. Then the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hard. He refuses to let people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning. When you see him walking out to the water, stand ready to meet him by the bank of the Nile. Take in your hand the staff that turned into a snake. Tell him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to tell you, Let my people go so that they may worship me in the wilderness. But so far you have not listened. This is what the Lord says. Here is how you will know that I am the Lord. Watch. I am about to strike the water in the Nile with a staff in my hand, and it will turn to blood. The fish in the Nile will die, the river will stink, and the Egyptians will will be unable to drink water from it. So the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, take your staff and stretch it out over your hand over the waters of Egypt, over their rivers, canals, ponds, and all of the water reservoirs, and they will become blood. There will be blood throughout the land of Egypt, even in wooden and stone containers." Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded. In the sight of Pharaoh and his officials, he raised the staff and struck the water in the Nile, and all the water in the Nile was turned to blood. The fish in the Nile died. The river smelt so bad the Egyptians could not drink water from it. There was blood throughout the land of Egypt. But the magicians of Egypt did the same thing by their occult practices. So Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. Pharaoh turned around, went into his palace, and didn't take even this to heart. All the Egyptians dug around the Nile for water to drink, because they could not drink the water from the Nile. 7 days passed after the Lord struck the Nile. Alright, next chapter. Chapter 8. The second plague. Frogs. Don't you hate it when your kingdom's plagued with frogs? It really grinds my gears. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh and tell him, this is what the Lord says. Let my people go, so that they may worship me. But if you refuse to let them go, then I will plague all your territory with frogs. The Nile will swarm with frogs. They will come up and go into your palace, into your bedroom, and on your bed, into the houses of your officials and your people, and into your ovens and kneading bowls. The frogs will come up on you, your people, and all your officials." Oh no, not the frogs. The Lord then said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, stretch out your hand with your staff over the rivers, canals, and ponds, and cause the frogs to come up onto the land of Egypt." When Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. But the magicians did the same thing by their occult practices, and brought frogs up onto the land of Egypt. Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "Appeal to the Lord to remove the frogs from me and my people. Then I will let the people go, and they can sacrifice to the Lord." Moses said to Pharaoh, "You may have the honor of choosing. When should I appeal on behalf of you, your officials, and your people, that the frogs be taken away from you and your houses, and remain only in the Nile?" "Tomorrow," he answered. Moses replied, "As you have said, so that you may know there is no one like the Lord our God. The frogs will go away from you, your houses, your officials, and your people. The frogs will remain only in the Nile." After Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, Moses cried out to the Lord for help concerning the frogs that he had brought against Pharaoh. The Lord did as Moses had said. The frogs in the houses, courtyards, and fields died. Surely there's still frog corpses about. They piled them in countless heaps, and there was a terrible odor in the land. But when Pharaoh saw there was relief, he hardened his heart and would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. The third plague, gnats. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, stretch out your staff and strike the dust of the land, and it will become gnats throughout the land of Egypt." And they did this. Aaron stretched out his hand with his staff, and when he struck the dust of the land, gnats were on people and animals. All the dust of the land became gnats throughout the land of Egypt. The magicians tried to produce gnats using their occult practices, but they could not. The gnats remained on people and animals. "This is the finger of God," the magician said to Pharaoh. But the Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. The fourth plague, swarms of flies. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning, and present yourself to Pharaoh when you see him going out to water. Tell him, this is what the Lord says, let my people go, so they may worship me. But if you will not let my people go, then I will send swarms of flies against you, your officials, your people, and your houses. The Egyptians' houses will swarm with flies, and so will all the land where they live. But on that day I will give special treatment to the land of Goshen, where my people are living. No flies will be there. This way you will know that I, the Lord, am in the land." I will make a distinction between my people and your people. The sign will take place tomorrow." And the Lord did this. Thick swarms of flies went into the Pharaoh's palace and his officials' houses. Throughout Egypt the land was ruined because of swarms of flies. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "Go sacrifice to your God within the country." But Moses said, "It would not be right to do that, because what we will sacrifice to the Lord our God is detestable to the Egyptians. We will sacrifice. If we sacrifice what the Egyptians detest in front of them, won't they stone us? We must go a distance of 3 days into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he instructs us." Pharaoh responded, "I will let you go and sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness, but don't go very far. Make an appeal for me." "As soon as I leave you," Moses said, I will appear to the Lord, and tomorrow the swarms of flies will depart from Pharaoh, his officials, and his people. But Pharaoh must not act deceptively again by refusing to let the people go and sacrifice to the Lord." Then Moses left Pharaoh's presence and appealed to the Lord. The Lord did as Moses had said. He removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, his officials, and his people. Not one was left. But Pharaoh hardened his heart this time also, and did not let the people go. "Oh, there's gonna be a virus. Oh, dearie me. They're gonna get killed by bubonic plague." Yep. Chapter 9. The fifth plague, death of livestock. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh, and say to him, 'This is what the Lord, the God of Hebrews, says. Let my people go, so that they may worship me. But if you refuse to let them go, and keep holding them, then the Lord's hand will bring a severe plague against your livestock in the field, the horses, donkeys, camels, herds, and flocks. The Lord will make a distinction between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt, so that nothing of all the Israelites' own will die.' And the Lord set a time, saying, 'Tomorrow the Lord will do this thing in the land.' The Lord did this the next day. All the Egyptian livestock died, but none among the Israelite livestock died. Pharaoh sent messengers who saw that not a single one of Israelite livestock was dead. But Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he did not let the people go. You're gonna get people killed. Just let them go. Come on, please. The sixth plague, boils. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Take handfuls of furnace soot." And Moses is to throw it towards heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. It will become fine dust over the entire land of Egypt. It will become festering boils on people and animals throughout the land of Egypt. So they took furnace soot and stood before Pharaoh. Moses threw it towards heaven, and it became festering boils on people and animals. Magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, but the boils were on the magicians as well, and on all the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not listen to them, as the Lord had told Moses. The seventh plague, hail. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning, and present yourself to Pharaoh. Tell him, 'This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, so that they may worship me. For this time I am about to send all my plagues against you, your officials, and your people. Then you will know there is no one like me on the whole earth. By now I could have stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with a plague, and you would have been obliterated from the earth. However, I have let you live for this purpose, to show you my power and to make my name known on the whole earth. You are still acting arrogantly against my people by not letting them go. Tomorrow, at this time, I will rain down the worst hail that has ever occurred in Egypt from the day it was founded until now. Therefore give orders to bring your livestock and all that you have in the field into shelters. Every person and animal that is in the field and not brought inside will die when the hails fall on them." Those among Pharaoh's officials who feared the word of God made their servants and livestock flee to shelters, but those who didn't take to heart the Lord's words left their servants and livestock in the field. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand towards heaven, and let there be hail throughout the land of Egypt." on people and animals, on every plant of the field in the land of Egypt. So Moses stretched out his staff towards heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail. Lightning struck the land, and the Lord rained hail on the land of Egypt. The hail, with the lightning flashing through it, was so severe that nothing like it had occurred in the land of Egypt since it had become a nation. Throughout the land of Egypt the hail struck down everything in the field, both people and animals. The hail beat down every plant of the field, and shattered every tree in the field. The only place it didn't hail was in the land of Goshen, where the Israelites were. Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron. "I have sinned this time," he said to them. "The Lord is the righteous one, and I and my people are the guilty ones. Make an appeal to the Lord. There has been enough of God's thunder and hail. I will let you go. You don't need to stay any longer." Moses said to him, "When I have left the city, I will spread out my hands to the Lord. The thunder will cease, and there will be no more hail, so that you may know the earth belongs to the Lord. But as for you and your officials, I know that you still do not fear the Lord God." The flax and the barley were destroyed, because the barley was ripe and the flax was budding, but the wheat and the spelt were not destroyed, since they are later crops. Moses left Pharaoh and the city, and spread out his hands to the Lord. Then the thunder and hail ceased, and rain no longer poured down on the land. When Pharaoh saw that the rain, hail, and thunder had ceased, he sinned again, and hardened his heart, he and his officials. So Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he did not let the Israelites go, as the Lord had said through Moses. This man, he's so, oh my Christ, he's gonna get a lot of his people killed. Like, definitely. The eighth plague, locusts. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials, so that I may do these miraculous signs of mine among them." Oh, so it's God that's making him not let them go, and then he's punishing them for that? It doesn't seem like a very cash money of you, God. And then the Lord said to Moses, and so that you may tell your sons and grandsons how severely I dealt with the Egyptians, and performed miraculous signs among them, and you will know that I am the Lord." So Moses and Aaron went in to Pharaoh and told him,